on the NewsChannel 5 network. This is Titans Talk.
Hey there, Sportsline on your television, or actually Titans Talk, as you just heard there in the open. See, it's week one, and I'm already fumbling the football away, which unfortunately is exactly what the Titans did yesterday against the Vikings. Hello, everybody. I'm Steve Lehman. Thanks for joining us tonight here on News Channel 5 Plus. We're going to get to everything about that Titans game from yesterday. Jump to a 10-0 lead, then the 3 turnovers in the second half. 25 unanswered points is what the Vikings put up, and the offense never got to the end zone. Think about that for a second. The Titans' offense or defense was so good yesterday, they were able to bottle up Adrian Peterson. He had just 31 yards on 19 carries. Sean Hill didn't have much of an impact. The offense couldn't sustain drives. They didn't do anything in the red zone. They never got into the end zone throughout the course of the day. But the Titans just handed them the ball. Marcus Mariota with one of the worst decisions of his NFL career on the pick six. Eric Kendricks taking it back 77 yards to the end zone. And that's a play where Minnesota cut into the lead. It's 10-6. The Titans are driving with a chance to respond and put at least a field goal up. You're at the 20-yard line. Put a field goal up, go back up by a touchdown. And let's be honest, if you go up by a touchdown in that game, the way the defense was playing, I'm not sure you lose the game. I'm not sure Sean Hill and the Vikings offense could do enough against the Titans defense to overcome that. You had to help them out. And unfortunately, that's exactly what happens. That play goes from a drive where you can probably go up at least a touchdown, maybe more than that if you extend the drive and can get it into the end zone. Instead, you find yourself down after that play. And unlike the first half when a couple things went wrong and I felt like the Titans really rebounded and showed some resolve and toughness to come back, in the second half when that happened, you almost felt it in the stadium and on the sideline that it was just kind of a, oh, man, how did that happen again? We should be winning this game, and now all of a sudden look at the scoreboard and we're down. That felt a little bit like the Titans of old, and they're going to have to win some of these games to change that feeling, because there have been so many games and so many years that have looked like what we saw in the second half yesterday, and they haven't been able to come out of the tailspin. Once the snowball started going downhill, they couldn't stop it, either in a game or in the season. So that's the challenge now moving forward, is you got to figure out how to stop it. Go to Detroit this week and get a win. Otherwise, now you're 0-2, and the talk will continue that, oh boy, for all the talk of things being different in the offseason, this looks like the same old team. And that's the frustrating thing about the third quarter yesterday, and the second half really in total, is this was a Titans team that had done so much in the offseason. 23 new faces on the roster. A bunch of new coaches, a new philosophy coming into the year, to be physical, to be smash mouth. They did it in the preseason, and to a large extent they did it yesterday for a half. And then all of a sudden, that play goes against you, and it just kind of felt like a woe is me attitude, feeling in the crowd over there at Nissan Stadium. And they weren't able to bounce back. In fact, they compounded the issues. Mariota and Murray had a miscommunication on a zone read play, which we found out today. Mariota was trying to keep the ball, and had he done it and was able to beat the defensive end around the corner with his speed, the Titans had the blocking set up where that play could have gone a long, long way. But instead, Murray squeezes a little too tight. Mariota can't get it out. All of a sudden, the ball's on the turf. Daniel Hunter scoops it up and takes in 24 yards for a touchdown. The second return score by the Vikings defense. And now all of a sudden, in a game that you feel like you've been the better team, you find yourself down by 2 scores. And that was really the unfortunate thing yesterday for the Titans is, whatever. There's 70, 80 plays in a game. You play really well, frankly, for the vast majority of those plays. probably better than the Vikings played in the vast majority of those plays. But catastrophic turnovers did them in. The Vikings offense never got to the end zone, and they scored 25 unanswered points in the second half. That simply cannot happen. And that unfortunately happened to the Titans yesterday. All right, let's take a look. We've been talking about it. Let's go to the highlights. Marcus Mariota beginning his second season at the helm of the offense. He's got some more weapons here. Derrick Henry actually didn't get to where he was supposed to, but boy, did he make up for it, turning something out of nothing. 29 yards on that pass play there. That set up a field goal. Stayed 3-0 until just before the half. Mariota to another rookie, Tajay Sharp. 7 catches, 76 yards in his debut. Then another third down conversion right after Andre Johnson dropped a touchdown. DeMarco Murray makes good. And then one play later, into the end zone for the touchdown. The Titans led it 10-0 at the break. But the second half begins in an inauspicious way. Former Vol Cordero Patterson, 64 yards on the kickoff return. The defense held tough there, but still the Vikings pick up a field goal. Got to 10-6, and here's where things started to go really bad. First, the pass to Andre Johnson, 16-yard gain there. But that is the critical mistake. Mariota right to Eric Kendricks, who takes it back 77 yards for the pick six. It's a ball certainly Mariota would like back. The Vikings now in control, 12-10, despite that offense having done nothing at that point in the game. And it's only going to get worse. Sean Hill, just about the only play he made all day on 3rd and 1, the throwback to Kyle Rudolph for 18 yards. That set up a field goal to make it 15-10. And here's that fumble. Mariota trying to pull it out, can't do it. It falls on the turf. Daniel Hunter scoops and scores from 24 yards. 22-10 Vikings. And then Murray fumbles again, the third turnover in the span of about 7 minutes. The Vikings unable to do anything with that, but they tack on a field goal. 25 unanswered points to win on opening day. Murray did get his second touchdown late to make it a 25-16 final. He finishes with 77 total yards and the 2 touchdowns in his Titans debut. Mariota goes 25 of 41, but turned it over those 2 times. And despite no Teddy Bridgewater, out for the year with that broken leg and torn ACL, and Adrian Peterson just going for 31 yards, the Titans fall 25-16. So now, I guess the hope is that you can bounce back quickly. And who knows, maybe if you look back at recent years, the Titans had lost or won 3 consecutive season openers and then lost after that pretty much the rest of the season. Last 2 years, they were 2-0 in season openers, and they won 3 total games the rest of the way in those 2 years. So maybe this year you lose a game that you feel like you can win in week 1. Maybe that will spark them to having a better season. What was your take yesterday? So much hope going into the year for the Titans. What did you see yesterday in week 1? Did it seem like the exact same old thing from the Titans that we've seen in recent years? Or were there some positives in that game that make you think that there still is hope for this season, that despite the loss in week 1, that they can bounce back this weekend in Detroit or at some other point throughout the course of the year? 737-7767 is the number tonight. We want to hear from you after the season opening game. And we begin tonight with Mark. Mark, good evening.
How you doing?
Doing well.
I have a comment.
Yep.
I come in the Titans, they'll come out running like a lion the first and second. They'll come out doing good. Then after halftime, it seems like they just give up. How come?
Well, I don't think they gave up, Mark. I just think that what happened in that second half is the Vikings responded a little bit. They make the big play on the kickoff return to start the second half, which can't happen. But when it does, you've got to be able to respond. And in that case, the defense did. The defense locks them down and holds them to a field goal. You've got the offense driving to put up points, but this is a team that's still trying to figure out how to win. And when that play, when the pick six happened, I just think you saw all the air go out of not just the team, but the stadium at that point. Up to that point, they had responded to the adversity. They had played well. The defense had been terrific. And when that play went against them, and all of a sudden you thought, gosh, we played really well for 2.5 quarters, and all of a sudden we're losing. That was a tough pill to swallow, and a veteran, mature team that's won a bunch of games might be able to overcome that and come back. Marcus Mariota in year 2, he looked a little shaky after that. The rest of the offense seemed to take their cues from him, and the entire team just didn't respond in the way you would want after that interception and that turnover and what it meant. All right, phone lines are open. We are just getting started here on the program. 737-7767 is the number. We got to take our first break. We will come back. More of your phone calls, much more Titans talk. We'll have some analysis from Rashad Johnson, Titans safety, coming up on the program as well. So stay tuned. Titans Talk is live. The 2016 season underway right here on News Channel 5+.